So first of all, we have ancient history. Personally, I grew up being so fascinated by the ancient world that choosing the subject was a no-brainer. But if you're a little unsure about the subject, take a look at the syllabus and what you'll be covering and determine if that's something you'd enjoy studying. So just to give you a little hint of what it's like without revealing too much, in Year 11 you start off with the topic Investigating Ancient History, which is basically where you learn the different methods historians, archaeologists and linguists use to uncover what happened in history, and once you finish with that, you basically have the tools to start being historians yourself and look at different case studies and historical periods and make your own judgment about what you think happened. When people ask me, how can ancient history help you in the future? I just laugh and say, how can it not? Disregarding any sort of historian-related jobs, for anyone who's ever thought of becoming a policewoman, detective, or if you just love solving a good mystery, ancient's just that. You get to research and acquire evidence, then argue about what you've uncovered. So the real mystery is, will you be choosing ancient? Next we have modern history. I could go on for days about how much I love modern history. Not only is the content itself so interesting, but it's such a raw and controversial subject that really opens your eyes and changes how you view the world. Modern's one of those subjects that I honestly believe should be made compulsory, because by studying modern history, it teaches society as a whole about the mistakes made in the past and what we need to do to make sure that none of that ever occurs again. Plus, even with it being in the past, it's an incredibly relevant subject, as history does have a tendency of repeating itself. And when you sit there and take a deeper look at everything that's happening, you'll just be mind blown. Unlike with ancient, modern is more international, and you get to look at all the conflicts around the world involving different nations, who their leaders were, their strategies and tactics, the weaponry used, and you basically get to decide why it happened in the first place and who was at fault. Chances are your family at one point has discussed some sort of event in modern history, whether it be either of the world wars, the Iranian Revolution, the civil rights movement, regardless of what it is. By doing modern history, it's the perfect opportunity to go home and show off everything you've learned and actually have an in-depth conversation with your family and friends instead of talking about something relevant you saw on Instagram. And as an added bonus, you'll actually be able to understand and laugh at history memes and TikToks. Now, if you love both ancient and modern and you just can't get enough of the histories, well then extension's for you. The first advantage of doing extension is that you don't do it in Year 11 and you only have to do it in Year 12. But I mean, that can also be disappointing because you'll wish that you could have done it for longer, as it's such an amazing subject. You don't even have to do both modern and ancient. As long as you do one of the histories, you can do extension as well. And trust me, you would not regret choosing it. In Term 1, you study historiography, which is where you look at historians in different time periods and their perspectives on history. It basically feels like you cover the whole history of the world in just a term. You also study the life and assassination of JFK, which you'll thoroughly enjoy, especially if you love discussions. The other positive about extension is how flexible it is and how you aren't restricted in any way. For your project that you do, you get to choose any person, place or event from any historical time period that you're interested in, and you get to choose and propose the questions which you answer. I mean, I don't know any other subject where you get to choose what you study.
Since the beginning of high school, choosing economics was always going to be a goal of mine. Back then, maths was really important to me and I was so eager to study maths and do maths. And so I thought that mathematical component of economics would basically control the entire subject. But after the 2 years of content, it's not like that at all. If anything, I've learned to make my own opinion on how the economy works and basically real life experiences, and I can actually talk to other adults about, you know, these economic problems, and it's such a great way to feel like you're doing something better for the world.
Another thing I like about economics is that it relates to your everyday life. There are elements of economics that you see, and that's like one of the things that I do enjoy about that, because it's not like the other subjects where you're like, oh, we'll be using this in the future. Like economics is one of the subjects that will like say, oh, I'm gonna be using this in the future, so it's gonna be helpful. But the thing is I can say about economics is that you need to have like an interest in it or a passion that can drive you through HSIE.
My name is Roya and I do senior geography.
Hi, my name is Sava and I also do senior geography.
So Sava, what made you choose senior geography?
Well, I've chosen geography because I'm generally interested in looking at the human impact and effects humans have on the environment and ways in which we can manage those strategies and preserve the natural habitat.
We did so much fun excursions. Our first one was the
Hawkesbury
Hawkesbury,
River,
where we did
kayaking.
kayaking, and it's so interesting because you find so much like microscopic beings in the river, and
Yeah.
just like
It's
it was
also
really
just a fun
fun.
activity, like-
Yeah, and we looked at the water testing and how clean our water is.
Interested in the legal system and how the law influences the most vulnerable groups in society? Are you keen on lots of classroom discussions about legal issues? If so, then legal studies is a subject for you.
Hi, I'm Selma and this is Lena, and today we're going to be talking to you about why you should pick the subject legal studies. I basically picked legal studies because I've always had a fascination with the way the law works and more broadly how it fits into society. I also think it's a great subject when it comes to building new perspectives and actually figuring out why everything happens the way it does.
I discovered that the law actually fascinated me through watching Suits, and personally found legal studies to be an immensely rewarding subject where I got to learn about the most pressing issues facing our country.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey everyone, I am a Year 12.
So my PIP topic was about black models in the fashion industry, and my hypothesis was to see if the fashion industry is actually doing something to enable black models succeed. That was what my whole PIP was about. So I just managed to gather as much information as I can, and I contacted models, black models specifically on social media platforms like Instagram, and fortunately I was able to get an interview, and now I have information about how the fashion industry works and how it actually I came to the conclusion that it's working towards diversity, but it's not at its maximum point as it should be, but they're working towards it.
So my PIP topic is animal cruelty because it's something I felt passionate about for a really long time. So that was like really easy for me to just start because I knew a lot of people I could contact in to get help for my PIP topic, and it was really easy, like with research, like my primary research methods, like I could do surveys and interviews, and that was easy to just send out from online platforms. And yeah, it's just
Yeah, just make sure it's a topic that you're really passionate about, because you don't want to choose a topic that you're not passionate about. If you do that, you're not going to actually put in the work and effort needed for you to have a good mark in your PIP, and that's really important because it's 40% of your HSE.
And I know it's sometimes hard to, come up with a topic. Like, it took me a while. I had to look at different aspects because I have many interests in different topics. So like, I had to choose the one that would fit right with this whole project.
My name is Zainab and I'm a Year 12 Society and Culture student, and the reason why I chose this subject is to expand my knowledge on different worldviews and gain more literacy skills, as it will prepare you for the real world since SAC looks at real life issues. Things to consider while choosing this subject is to work consistently throughout the year on both classwork and PIP work, and don't leave anything last minute as it will stress you out.